Hey everyone, we're back with Thinking with Old Man Garcia, talking about car deals and understanding the process of buying a car. I wish it was just as easy as walking in and buying a pair of shoes, or, even buying a home was a lot easier than buying a car. And if you hear all this background noise, because I'm driving. Where am I going with all this? Is just understanding all those tactics that are used to convince a consumer to purchase a vehicle. And again, I go back to, if it were only that simple to buy a car, this wouldn't exist, this conversation. The last I've come to understand and learn is an interesting idea in which, let's take for example, I'm going to make up all these numbers. The car is $50,000. The payment is $600. The consumer at the negotiating point makes it known that $600 is just not in their budget. First and foremost, if you're negotiating a car payment with the dealer, you're already at a loss. But that's neither here nor there. Sometimes situations call for that type of setting. So, give you a second here. And that car is really taking off. So if you find yourself in a monthly car price or monthly payment negotiation, it is what it is, and just try to be as all right. Sorry, I have a little glitch there, and I'm also paying attention to some of these drivers here. Where am I going with this? So the car is $500. You're at $600 payment, or the consumer's at $600 payment. The consumer says, "I cannot afford this. This is too high." And as I again have learned, anyone who objects, which I don't see it as an objection, I just see it as, if you really can't afford it, then you're just being truthful and honest as not being able to afford it. Anyway, I digress. The verbiage used by the car dealing industry is that you're objecting. So your objection will be taken as a complaint, as a whine. And so to make you stop whining, they will then pitch this idea to you, which is, the car right now is valued at $50,000. After 60 months, let's just say that's a 60-month term loan, you will then own the car. The car then, for the sake of numbers, is worth $25,000 at the end of 60 months, which then you are given the title and you're the sole owner of the vehicle. This is interesting. You are told that, or the consumer is told that this title is a savings, because this entire time you've been putting away little amounts towards it. Because what they'll do is they'll take that $25,000 that you now own and divide that by 60 for the term that you were in, and whatever number comes out of that division is then subtracted from the $600 payment that you're currently being told to make, or that you'll be involved in. So in actuality, you're not paying $600, you're paying a difference of a future savings that hasn't occurred yet. So you're looking at $600, but the reality is you're paying $350, because at the end of 60 months, you will have had a savings and you will have only been paying $350, not $600, because that $600, there's a portion of that going to a savings in your vehicle. I see the lemonade out of a lemon in this idea. Really, it's a great pitch, but it's a horrible concept, because if you truly have a savings set aside, you can then go cash that out. If your car is worth $25,000, the dealer's not going to give you $25,000. They're going to give you a lower amount. But they don't tell you all that. At the same time, you can't just turn around and sell your car for exactly that amount. Now, also keep in mind that at 72 months, that car is worth less than it was at 60 months. So again, it's just a flawed idea where they try to paint a negative into a positive. And I can respect that, because you should see your car as an asset. The only time the car becomes a true financial gain is the moment you pay it, because now you're no longer making that payment and it is now given back to you in that sense. So your true savings doesn't begin until you own the car. And assuming you don't go trade it in, because that's one thing they do talk about, is trading in the car, because now you have $25,000. You pretty much have cash on hand, according to them, and you can go trade it in. But now you're stuck back in the same situation where you're purchasing a vehicle and back in another payment structure. And the goal here is to own the car. That's my goal, at the very least, is own a car, not be stuck in a car payment for the rest of my life. I don't care for car payments. I've recently bought I purchased my Santa Fe and don't intend on buying another vehicle for a while, until we need to upgrade the family vehicle. So in short, I don't intend on buying another family vehicle for a good while until it is needed. Ideally, until the Santa Fe pays for the next vehicle, in that all the payments that I made monthly for it, I'm going to continue to make as a savings to go buy a car close to cash. Then that's when I'll upgrade. That's how I feel things should work, but every situation is different. So I wanted to share that interesting concept. I hope I'm explaining this clearly and thoroughly for everyone, but if I'm not, please excuse my structure of conversation here. I just want to make myself aware, as well as anyone who's listening, aware of the process that I'm undergoing. Again, I'm not purchasing tomorrow or this weekend. I'm purchasing as a long run. This is a long game for me. It's not a quick turnaround for me. I'm not in need of a vehicle, and that's already at a big advantage. I'm in control because I get to dictate the pace of this. I've reached out to a couple of, this is me just adding on to the segment in a different topic that I'll talk about in more depth later. But I've already reached out to some dealers, and the quick response is, you need to come in because these vehicles are hot and they'll sell. And my response is, I'll be there when I can, and if it sells, it sells. I'm not married in my mind and in my heart. I know I'm not married to the vehicle. I am sold on the vehicle. I would like the new vehicle, but I'm not rushing to go get it. There is no sense of urgency because I'm not in need of it. And they can't work with a customer like me because they can't create urgency. And I'm not trying to be difficult. It's just, it is what it is. I just don't want to rush into it. I want to have the right price, especially now, like I spoke to in another segment where I talked about how I know the amount they can drop because I've seen it. I believe some of the values have been $4 and some of them have been about $3,000. So I know a dealer can discount it. And if they can't, the moment I go in there, okay, but then I'll continue to search for one that does offer it, or I'll come back whenever they do have it. It's that simple. And that is the ultimate control. on top of already having your finances in order and not needing to put your social security out there and have them run your credit, because then they control those numbers for you, and you don't want to get into that. And you would think that in the world of sales, all of these individuals who I've reached out to and requested like more information about the vehicle and just to be educated on, or that I'm going to drop in and just look at the vehicle, stop listening to me and don't even bother following up with me, because I'm not a sale for them at the moment. Yet when I'm ready to buy, they'll be right there and waiting to do and answer. I'm sorry, not to do, but to answer any questions I have. But right now that I have the questions, they don't bother with me. And so there is no loyalty in me towards any dealer or towards any salesman, because they do not care about me right now. I understand their livelihood is sales, but at the same time, I am a sale that's going to happen. It's just a matter of who's willing to invest that time. I'm not talking about calling me every day, but if I email and say, hey, I'm following up, I just want to know about this, and you don't respond to me, then you don't care about me, because I am not an immediate sale. And that is a culture that is very transparent all across the board. And this time that I've embarked on learning about the negotiation and car sales and dealerships. So they talk a big game, they preach a big game, but at the end of the day, sales is sales, and they're not building the rapport because they don't care about the customer. They just care about the sale. And unless there's one salesman who, during this time, and I will be completely honest, is available to answer my questions in a timely manner, then I will work with that salesman. Because at the end of the day, he's working for the sale. But that's for another conversation. That's for another discussion on a different day, a different hour. Anyway, we'll talk to you all soon, and let's see what continues to happen on this adventure of buying a truck.